Well, I didn't expect to be reviewing a comic book anytime soon on this channel, and yet here I am. Today we're looking at Disney's Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas Mirror Moon. I say it like that because that's how it's written on the cover. You could easily call me a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. I've been a big fan of the movie. It's become a holiday tradition for me and generally is very enjoyable, both for its artwork, its music, and it's overall just kind of playing around with the idea of holidays. So when I found out that I had the opportunity to review a graphic novel based on The Nightmare Before Christmas, of course I would totally give it a chance. The book is written by an American writer, and the art is done by Italians, which is an interesting combination that hopefully will make this book an enjoyable experience. Beginning with the cover, we have a very interesting cover of Sally, Jack, Zero, and some mysterious characters in the background, who are these recurring vampire characters who will appear throughout the story. Overall, it's a nice looking cover. It shows characters you recognize, the title is easy to read, and it lets you know that this is another adventure within the world of The Nightmare Before Christmas. But you can't just judge a book by its cover, can you? You gotta judge it by its writing and its art. So let's get started with that writing. The story begins with Jack waking up from a strange dream, where he had a vision of chaos as all the doors to the various holidays were opened. This inspires Jack to develop a machine that can make copies of things in order to expand Halloween and make it bigger than ever. Our main story, however, follows Sally, as she is given responsibility for making sure that this year's Halloween goes on without a hitch. So we follow Sally as she tries to help people through various issues, approving various things for the big Halloween celebration, and, of course, stumbling across people telling her strange and contradictory information, which leads her on an adventure to figure out how and why the duplicates have been appearing while Jack himself has been cooped up in his lab. The story itself isn't particularly bad. It is a Sally-focused story, which is kind of unfortunate because Sally is relatively boring comparatively to the bombastic and energetic Jack. That being said, the characters are all in character. The mayor is stressed out and acts like the mayor. Jack is very distracted and single-mindedly focused on his new idea. Sally is very questioning, worried, and tries to help people. I do like the fact that the characters are all in character. What I don't like is the fact that Jack is sequestered in his tower and only appears 3 times throughout the entire book, and all these appearances are relatively short. It's nice to have a Sally story, sure, but I really could use some Jack livening things up. The ending is fine and didn't upset me in any sort of way, and Jack got to help out with the solution, which is always nice, since he caused the problem in the first place. While it is a bit annoying to have to follow a less interesting character, it is nice to see Sally having her own little side adventure, and Jack does get to help out at the end, which is good. It just would have been nice to have more Jack, because when I think Nightmare Before Christmas, I think of our protagonist, Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King. The art is an interesting mixed bag. First off, the characters do look like their counterparts, just, 2D instead of, the stop-motion designs. But they do look like what you would expect them to look like. However, Jack's face always looks a little weird. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something about Jack's face that just doesn't look right. Considering how little he shows up in the story, I guess that's not that big of a deal, but it'd be nice if Jack's face looked a little bit better. Maybe it's the proportions. I'm not sure. Beyond that, all the characters look great. The new characters really fit into the world. I actually like those new vampire characters. They do amuse me. In addition to that, the backgrounds all look like very Nightmare Before Christmas backgrounds, with weird, twisty architecture, strange-looking trees and hills. It all looks like the world it's supposed to be. My main issue is that the coloring is a little odd. I don't know if this is how it turned out in my copy or if this was an intentional thing. The coloring is done with a watercolor style. It's not exactly painted in watercolor, but it has a very watercolor palette to it. And some issues, the palette is much darker and fits in with the Nightmare Before Christmas world, and other times it's really light. Now, I thought this was because it was supposed to represent the day and night cycle of the town, which It does, but then there's other chapters where it's clearly like dusk and it still feels really bright. I don't know if this was a printing issue. I don't know if this was, I don't know, but the lighter colors palettes always feel a little off to me. It feels too bright for Halloween Town. And the dark parts are perfect. And I don't know what issue led to this. It isn't like a major break the book issue here. It just seems odd to me. Beyond that, all the art looks like what you would want it to look like. It feels like you're taking a tour through Halloween Town with characters you recognize and a couple of new characters as chaos is unleashed yet again. The bottom line is, this book isn't bad, but it's not great. It's very much so-so. There are things I like. Most of the artwork is really good. The story is kind of fun. And definitely the tone and characterization are spot on. There are things I don't like. Jack being relegated to a background character, the weird color palette swapping between chapters, and there's a few parts in the story where it feels like they're just kind of rushing through things because of page limits, and that always gets a little bit annoying. If you're a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas, and the things I've said haven't turned you off, you'll really enjoy this. If you are a casual fan or not really a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas, I'd recommend sticking with Kingdom Hearts. You get a lot more Jack, and it's a lot more fun. Overall, if I have to give it a choice between don't read, must read, or just read, I give it a solid read. It's not bad in any sort of major ways that make it unreadable, and it's not great, but if you are a hardcore fan, you may enjoy a side story featuring Sally. Thank you for watching. If you want to see me review more manga and graphic novels, please let me know in the comments, and let me know by giving this a like or a dislike. Either way, it's going to tell me whether or not you liked this. Until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the Manga Cafe.